everybody. I'm Anna. Be rest assured this is not a kids program. I'm dressed like this because thank you for coming on a Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Yeah, just to cheer you up. So I'm the host and I'm the person who sends you all the emails about preparing for the ingredients. So thank you for coming. And then let's waste no time and let's just go to the, oh, wait, before that. Can I get a live interaction with everybody? So can everybody find the thumbs up on Zoom so that I will know when I can finish? Oh, thank you, Juan. Thank you everybody. Yeah, just find the thumbs up so I will know, say, should I move on? I will check with everybody, and if you give a thumbs up, I will be like, okay, all right, yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, that's great. Let's go to the first slide. Oh, right, sorry. I'm the one, the clicker. Okay, wait. Okay, first slide. All right, thank you. This is today's agenda. I'll introduce what is EcoEnzyme and the benefits and application. Rest assured, I read all the pre-workshop surveys, so I knew the majority of us, we want to learn about the benefits and application, hacks about making EcoEnzyme, and a lot of people ask what to do if EcoEnzyme turns bad. So we will cover these three more extensively today, and then the rest of the questions I will cover as we go. All right? Okay, so what is EcoEnzyme? Okay, this is EcoEnzyme, is the one that, like here, this is exactly the guy that's on the screen. I took a picture of it. So it's a vinegary solution. It has a pH of, it smells vinegary and citrusy, and it's a translucent, it can range from light yellow to light brown because the fruits will oxidize. And it's made from the fermentation of fruits with brown sugar. That's it. That's all it needs, that we need to make this bottle of EcoEnzyme. And the EcoEnzyme is very much like kombucha and wine. So this is how I'll compare it to kombucha. If we over-ferment kombucha, it becomes sour, it becomes vinegar. It's very similar to EcoEnzyme. And wine is kind of a fermentation where it's all sealed, so then we increase the alcoholic content. And EcoEnzyme, if we do that, we can also increase the alcoholic content, but that's not what we want. But the general process of fermentation will produce something like this, something close to vinegar or wine, alcohol. All right. So what does EcoEnzyme do? EcoEnzyme removes odor in air. So if we dilute it, half water and half EcoEnzyme, and we spray it around in a very smelly place like gym, or Malaysia is having a flood right now, and in flood areas, people are spraying this. It will remove odor very effectively because it's working of microbes. We can also do soil remediation. We can reduce the pesticide contamination in a piece of land, also heavy metal pollution. We accelerate the compost and treat human feces with EcoEnzyme and byproducts of EcoEnzyme. And then as a detergent, it is very effective in degreasing. It is suitable for sensitive skin. And I'll explain why. I'll explain the mechanism behind it later. It can be 100% biocompatible. By biocompatible, I mean that after we wash it, we can just use it directly to water the plants and becomes a fertilizer. So this is extremely possible with EcoEnzyme. And then it can be antimicrobial, depends on the raw ingredients that we use. And EcoEnzyme can also be used to treat gray water, so the water from our kitchen and from our toilet. It can be used to reduce eutrophication, which is the algae bloom in rivers after heavy rain. It can use to digest waste-activated sludge, which is a kind of a water treatment as well, and dairy waste. So you know that it's good with digesting milk residue as well. So for today, we're going to talk, so why does EcoEnzyme work? So it works with the microbes, because there are a lot of active microbes. We're using ambient microbes, so the microbes in the air, as you see just now, we only use fruits and sugar. So where does the microbe come from? The microbe is from the fruits itself. So, and EcoEnzyme also contains digestive enzymes, hydrolytic enzymes, protease, amylase, and lipase. These are the enzymes we learned in primary school that's in our stomach. And then it contains organic acids like acetic acid, so that's how vinegar is made. It has medicinal properties of the raw ingredients. Say if we use orange, it has the medicinal property of orange, which is antimicrobial. If we use, say, mangosteen or use lemongrass, it has a different property. So it depends on the raw ingredient. EcoEnzyme can also contain juvenile hormones. So that's with banana shoots. It's going to contain juvenile hormones to promote plant growth. It has nutrition like NPK. If we use fish or okara to ferment, it will have very high, or banana peels, it's going to have very high nitrogen or potassium content. And then it has a pH around 3 to 4, which is similar to apple cider vinegar. All right, so then today, where does the cleaning effect of EcoEnzyme come from? It comes from protease, amylase, and lipase, the organic acid, and as well as the medicinal properties of the raw ingredients, which is the orange peels that we're going to use. All right, so after introducing about EcoEnzyme, so what do we do? So what do I do? So this is this organization that why I'm explaining this. So this organization we are called EcoEnzyme, and we believe in creating healthy and natural homes for ourselves. And we think that it's not, we can say, we're doing it for environment, but whatever that's good for our body is good for the environment. It always works like this. And it's not about, say, protecting global warming or zero waste. That's kind of ideology, but I think the more direct impact of EcoEnzyme is that it allows us to create a healthy and natural homes. At the same time, I feel that it's a toolkit for Tomorrowland. What I see from our pre-survey sign-up is that we have a lot of younger people, and I think in today's day and age, there are a lot of younger people with the aspiration of, say, going to eco-villages, moving away from the city, and it's difficult to predict what's going to happen tomorrow. And especially in eco-villages, I think the most relevant issue in eco-villages, or if you're living off the grid, is about wastewater treatment and feces treatment. How do you digest your waste? And with the whole system of EcoEnzyme, it's possible to replace everything in a natural way, so everything biodegrades rapidly, and you can live in a closed system where all your waste is recycled, it becomes nutrition, and then therefore I feel that it is a toolkit for Tomorrowland. Yeah, so why we're doing EcoEnzyme? So because it degrees, it's suitable for sensitive skin, and then it removes odor. All right, so since so this is what we do, and so how do we achieve it? We achieve it through the EcoEnzyme education experiences. So I do this, I do workshops, and also prepare a lot of educational materials to empower everybody to do it similarly. So this is what I feel. I feel that the knowledge should be shared, and everybody can make it. So you don't have to depend on anybody else to make it for you, but you can make it by yourself. All right, so then it comes to the demo. How do we use EcoEnzyme as a household cleaner? All right, so then it comes to, I'm going to show the table, and I'm going to demo how we use it. Okay, so as I said, EcoEnzyme is a very great degreaser. It doesn't show, oops. Why it doesn't show very well? Okay, it doesn't show on the camera. Oh well. So, okay. This white towel is contaminated with olive oil all around. And so I guess in this case, you will not be able to see how it demos, but this is how we use EcoEnzyme. So how we use it is, okay, this goes on to explaining, okay, the mechanism of cleaning and also its safety. So I will firstly show how we use EcoEnzyme at home. So say if this is our plate, or if our countertop, is contaminated with oil, and we cook, and our pan is very greasy. So then what we do is that, okay, we put it in the sink. It's similar as detergent, so we let it spray on it. Okay. As you can see. Okay, we just sprayed. Yeah, it shows a very light color on the camera. So what we do with it is that we wait for a while. This is how EcoEnzyme works. So okay, then this comes to, okay, for now I will explain the safety of EcoEnzyme, why it is safe, and then why it cleans. So how does it clean? It's very different. All right, so okay, I will explain the cleaning mechanism first. So if you have sensitive skin, most of the detergent you buy on the shelf in Singapore will irritate your skin. And that is because the Singapore standard says that all detergent on the shelf has to contain a minimum 15% of anionic active agents. So what does it mean? It means that anionic active agent, it produces a byproduct that will irritate our skin. And all the detergent on the shelf will have to meet a minimum 15% in order to comply with the Singapore standard. Of course, there are also different other brands that are more eco-friendly and they use non-ionic surface active agents. But most of the active agents will irritate our skin, and that's why it's irritating. So how does the normal detergent clean? They clean by all the detergent. They have a water-loving head and the fat-loving tail. So if there's oil, right, all the detergent active agents, they will coil around the oil and they form a bubble, and then they take this bubble and you wash them into the drain. So this is how normal detergent cleans. But with EcoEnzyme, it's very similar. If any doctors or nurses here, you will know that you clean your medical instruments with enzyme cleaner first. After enzyme cleaner, you go to a normal alkali-based cleaner, which is anionic based. So the enzyme cleaner, as we said, it has protease, amylase, and lipase. That is the things in our stomach. Also, it will digest everything that's not eaten, which is oil or whatever on the plates. So protease, amylase, and lipase will digest it on the plates. And therefore, it complements the normal commercial detergent, and that's how it cleans. All right, so just now as I was demonstrating, you have to put it, when you have a surface and you spray it and let it wait for a while, because it doesn't function in a very similar way because commercial detergent, they will immediately attach to an oil particle, but then for protease, amylase, and lipase, you will need to give them some time to digest whatever is there. All right, so I think you're not going to see the effect very clearly, but this is what I'm going to. So how you use EcoEnzyme is that you spray with EcoEnzyme and then you clean it with water. Right, so I'll do this. As you can see, one of the good things is that EcoEnzyme does not produce a lot of bubbles. So if, say, you have a countertop that's spilled with oil, and then you put normal detergent on it, the next half of the cleaning process is to clear the bubbles because everything produces so much bubble, and in the end, you're just washing bubbles. And so what's interesting is that also the normal surface active agents, they work because they produce a lot of bubbles. I think that's the byproduct. That's why in order to kind of create the illusion that things is clean, some manufacturers will also add bubbling agents, foaming agents. So you get the extra bubbles and the perception that, oh, this detergent is super clean. Then you have to spend a lot of time to wash away bubbles. So okay, as you can see, there are not a lot of bubbles just now. This place, like this countertop, was stained with olive oil, and I sprayed EcoEnzyme on it. And so you can see that right now. Okay, like so. All right, I wish you can hear to feel how it feels like. So it is very, very clean. It is squeaky clean. And you can see that there is not a lot of bubbles. I just spray and let it sit. So that's why I totally believe in this, and I'm teaching it with the strawberry hat. And I wish that you can also practice it at home. That's what I'm doing, because I really believe in why this is a great product. And it is going to help our home become healthier and cleaner and more natural. All right, so after the demonstration, I show you how it works. Now we can go to how do we make it? Oh, wait, sorry. I forgot to talk about safety. I know a lot of people ask, okay, is it safe? Is the EcoEnzyme safe? Just now you say that there are microbes in it. So does it mean that could there be pathogens? If I wash it with my plates, am I going to get diarrhea? Okay, so like everything else, is prone to contamination, even if our cooked food. So if I leave our cooked food outside in air exposure, after a while, it's going to get spoiled. So, but EcoEnzyme itself, when made properly, it should not have contamination or contaminate. Okay, everywhere we don't find places with zero germ, unless maybe it's in space. So how do people quantify whether something is safe? So the germ content is below a certain limit. So the germ content is below a certain limit. And so for EcoEnzyme, it should be the case. To explain microbes, in a normal situation, 70% of the microbes, they are neither good nor bad. They are sitting on the fence. They're just like, okay, we're just existing. We're not going to cause trouble, but we're not going to be beneficial. So beneficial ones are what we call probiotics that's good for us, or things that's not harmful for the human, it's like some things that's good for the human body, or beneficial for us in some way. And then there are the bad ones, like E. coli or Smelly that's going to cause very bad diarrhea. We're going to we have a lot of suffering from them. So 70% of the microbes, they're actually on the fence. They don't behave either way. It depends on whether it's a majority content. So then the leaders of that group of microbes. So during EcoEnzyme fermentation, what we're trying to get is to let the good microbes, the ambient ones, to overpopulate the whole the whole group of microbes there. And so if we ferment it in an airtight condition with clean containers with sugar, it's just like we're fermenting sauerkraut or fermenting kombucha. It's the same process. And then we allow the good ones to be dominant. And then we bring the whole population of microbes in a very good way. So then properly fermented EcoEnzyme should not cause any diarrhea. And then at the same time, because, well, this is just anecdotal because I'm just saying it. And so this is not, this is definitely not convincing enough, I guess, in the scientific situation. So what we're trying to do right now is actually to send this, the EcoEnzyme into food hygiene tests. We're going to test the different indicators, and then, trying to get more concrete data of it. So it is still in process, but anecdotally from my experience, if it's fermented well, it's safe. All right, okay, let's go to the EcoEnzyme process. All right, so can we go back to the slides just a bit? Okay, so what EcoEnzyme, some of us might have heard of it, the 1:3:10 magic ratio. So what is this 1:3:10 magic ratio? So we're talking about 1 part sugar. So just now we're fermenting fruits with sugar, right? So we're talking about 1 part sugar, 3 parts fruit waste, and 10 parts water. So this is the magic ratio of EcoEnzyme. And the number of days, somebody asked, is 3 months. So this is how nature works. It's pretty slow because we're fermenting with ambient microbes, the microbes that we found in the air. So this is how it goes. So we mix 1 part sugar, 3 parts fruit peels, 10 parts water, let it seal in a container, and wait for 90 days. And by the end of 90 days, you're going to get something like this. No, this is not 90 days yet, but it's already like in process. And you're going to get something like this. So, yeah. So this is how it goes. So now I'll go back to the table and demo. So then let's go to the hack. Well, okay, so 1:3:10, yeah, it sounds very easy, but there several questions will come up. I understand, I know. People ask, okay, what kind of sugar can I use? What kind of fruit peels can I use? What kind of water can I use? What kind of container should I use? How do I estimate the 1:3:10? All right, so I'm going to talk about all of them, okay? So firstly, let's go to the hack. Because 1:3:10, does it mean that I have to keep all these fruit peels? Because I ask people to prepare fruit peels. So do I have to keep all these fruit peels in the fridge and wait until I have enough and then I do this 1:3:10? So this is very troublesome, right? So this is a hack of estimating the 1:3:10 ratio. The hack is, say, a container. So this is how I do it at home. So it means that you can do it continuously at home. You don't have to save a lot of fruit peels and then wait for 1:3:10. But this is the hack that I'm going to teach. Okay, five steps. First step, a container. So you roughly know, okay, this depends on how exact you are. I know some people are very exact. They want things to be very precise. Then you know the volume of a container. Then you can put a mark on, okay, what is the 60%? What are the different places? So, and some people can just eyeballing it. So I used to eyeball it, and there's no problem. But for the demo, I'll do it in a very precise way. So this is a container, a cookie container from last year. And what we're going to do is to fill this container with 60% water. We fill water first. Okay, I'll explain why later. So we're going to fill it with 60% water. Okay. All right. Spill it on my notebook. Okay, so 60% water. This is the first step. Next step, it really needs some kind of mental calculation on our side, but it's very light. So we know that this container, for example, this container is 2 liters. I fill it with 60% water. It means that I fill it with 2 liters, 60%, so it's 120, 1 liter and 200 ml of water. Okay, so I know this is 200 ml of water. The next thing I do is that I dissolve sugar in it. How much sugar should I dissolve? I dissolve the sugar that's 1/10 the weight of water. So it means that this is 1 liter, 200 ml, and how much sugar I put? I put 120 grams of sugar. So in this case, sugar you can measure with the kitchen scale, or you can search that 1 tablespoon is about 25 grams of water. So you can also, just kind of calculate how many spoons of water. But water first, fill the container 60% full with water, and then put 10% the weight of water. Water. Whatever, how you phrase it in English, but you put sugar in it. Okay, so you can see the sugar comes to here. So you can also kind of, I will kind of mark it. Okay, all right, so I dissolve the sugar now. So this thing will be on our countertop, kitchen countertop, and then we seal it. Okay, we seal it tight. Okay, so imagine I come home, I prepare this. All right, okay, today I want to prepare 2 oranges for my kid. And then I have like 8 peels or something. So what I do is that, okay, whatever peels you have, right, just continuously add to it. So now say this is like, okay. All right, we have participants streaming in. I think you can catch the replay. I don't know where it is, but it's probably, I will put a link in my Telegram chat. So join the Telegram chat. All right, okay, so let's say today, okay, that's all the oranges I had today. Oh, oops, not enough, right? It's not 1, 3, 10, not enough. It's okay, don't worry. So just, okay, whatever. So just this, you can cut it how small you want, the smaller, but do not blend it, because when you blend it, you may introduce contamination. So just kind of small pieces is okay. All right, so oops, I keep it, and then the next day, tomorrow, I come back and I continue to put in it. So what happens is that it doesn't spoil, because in an airtight condition with sugar and water, this thing will start to ferment naturally. So you can keep this container on your countertop and add some fruit peels like every day until, then when do you, okay, so when is it ready? Do I add it all the way to the brim? And so how do I know when it's ready? So you know when it's ready when the fruit peels are about. The fruit peels can come as, okay, so I'm not going to, it's just going to waste a lot of time if I cut everything. Okay, so I'm going to put it inside. You can see. Until it is 80% full, as you can see. If it's, and I also want to show, okay, I prepared pomelo skin because I just want to show you don't need to always use orange skin. But I will explain why orange later. And okay, so when this comes to the 3 questions, what type of ingredients? I know somebody asked a question, can I use dried fruit peels? And then what type of fruit peels can I use? Actually, you can use any type of sweet fruit. It's going to work fine. And you can use what I found through experience and also through research, what's the best is orange and pineapple. Somehow there's a synergistic effect between orange and pineapple, and the researchers in India have done, it's a published research paper, that if you use pineapple and orange to ferment EcoEnzyme, the EcoEnzyme is going to have antimicrobial properties. So this is how it works. And then, but any type of sweet fruits will work, like mango, melon, like honeydew skin. What else? What kind of sweet stuff? Like pear, apple cores. But remember to take out the seeds from apple core because the seeds will contain cyanide. Even though it's not fatal, like just a few seeds is not going to kill us. But I think we don't want poison in any form in our EcoEnzyme. So remember to take out the core. So any type of fruit peels will work. And then it goes on to the next question. So what type of sugar can I use? Do I have to use brown sugar? Where do I get the brown sugar? Can I use white sugar? I always get, can I use white sugar? Yes, you can. Actually, you can use white sugar, but there are different, as in every domain of knowledge, there are different purists, there are different schools of thoughts. There'll be people teaching you, no, you shouldn't be using white sugar because it's processed sugar and there's stuff in it. I personally will also not advocate for white sugar because I know the manufacturing process of white sugar, how it becomes so fluffy and so like individual, like the crystals are so great because there are different type of chemical distillations processed in it. And therefore, I don't use white sugar. But you can use white sugar. It's just what I heard is that the content will turn out to be more sticky I guess because there are different additives to white sugar, that's how it goes. And why brown sugar? Brown sugar is less refined, and it contains the minerals. The minerals are like the vitamins for these microbes. So if you give them vitamins, they're going to be more vital. You have a better quality enzyme solution by using brown sugar. But you can also, but say if we're cleaning, right, and after we use brown sugar, we get this like brownish solution that doesn't look nice. So some people want to say, oh, can I use white sugar? I want it to be lighter in color. So instead of white sugar, I would recommend you can use glucose. So that's another possibility. Or you can use honey. But I think honey is more for drinking. And I remember one participant asked, okay, is it safe to drink? How do I consume it? So the answer for this one, for EcoEnzyme, they were using fruit peels like that, like waste. So it's not consumable. Please do not drink it. It's not good. But we can make edible enzymes, and that's why we can use honey or the very good type of sugar. And for brown sugar, we can get it from Chinese medicinal shops, or you know the one at Chinatown, they sell 5 kg for, I think, $15, or 6 kg for $15. So you can use that, and that's the same that the Chinese medicinal shop will sell. So any type of brown sugar, and if you want the color to be white and not using white sugar, you can also use rock sugar, like crystal sugar, so that's less processed. So actually the mechanism is that the fruit peels, it contains enzymes already, and it contains a lot of ambient microbes that's beneficial for us in the air. So what we want to do is that we give the microbes food, which is a sugar source. And then we also put them in a substrate, which is water, for them to move around, to swim, and to keep vital, because everything needs water to move. So then we give them food and water, and let them sit for 90 days. And they will produce this EcoEnzyme for us. They will ferment like wine, they'll ferment like kombucha. So this is how it works. All right, what kind of sugar, what kind of fruit peels? And somebody asked if we can use like dried fruit peels, will the ratio change? The ratio will change. The ratio will become 1 part of dried fruit peels, 1 part of sugar, and 10 parts of water. So instead of 1, 3, 10, if you have dried fruit peels, it's 1, 1, 10. So this is how it goes. All right, so then I understand that a lot of us might start to have a lot of questions. So, right. Oh, and thank you for asking it on, oh, yeah, I have a lot of questions. So what I want to do now is I'll invite, okay, let me see what's the site. What do I have? Can I go back? Yeah, 90 days, and then, yeah. So don't worry about it. Just now, EcoEnzyme in 5 steps. Don't worry about it. I have the slide. So EcoEnzyme in 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, oh yeah, then after that, you can like filter it, you know, so filter it. So you get the EcoEnzyme solution. So after that, so don't worry about it. This thing will be sent to you, okay? Or you can download it from your phone now. If you're accessing it through the laptop, you can download it. Or we can put I will put the link in also the follow-up email. So all the content is free, and it will be emailed. You can get them downloaded. All right. So I remember the next thing. I also want to say thank you for asking on Zoom, and because I know we're going to have a lot of questions later during Q&A. So may I invite you to go to Slido. Ask questions, go to slido.com and key in 333. So that is our question and Q&A session. So please copy, may I trouble you to copy paste your question there? Or I will answer the questions on Slido first, then I will go to Zoom. So because on Slido, it helps to automatically organize the question. You can upvote. So you have if you have the same question as another participant, you can upvote it, you can like it. So that I will know, okay, which question is the most interesting for everybody. Then I'll go down the sequence. That's much easier for me to organize, because later things may get very messy. We have about 60 participants here, which is going to get crazy when it comes to Q&A. So my trouble you to go to slido.com, key in 333, and then ask the questions over there. And I will answer the Zoom questions later after going through Slido if the Zoom questions are not answered. All right, so then another burning question that I got was, what do I do if EcoEnzyme turns bad? So I guess this also kind of suggests a fear that, okay, we're fermenting something, it's going to turn bad, you know, like we're working with microbes, what if it becomes moldy? So, all right, so let me define how it looks like. There are two types of bad enzymes that I encountered. One is the smell. It is very smelly. It smells like fart. It smells like not even the toilet, but it smells like a fart. And then the next thing is that you see green and black mold on top. So these are the two indicators that the EcoEnzyme turned bad. So why does it turn bad? And how can we prevent it? So there's from my experience, I have two buckets that turned bad before. One is in Singapore, and the other one is while I was in China. So then I concluded there are 4 factors, and these factors are arranged according to importance. So the raw material, actually, the fruits that you use is the primary, the thing you put inside is the primary reason whether it will ferment well or not. And then it goes down to the second reason, there was air exposure. So as I said, these microbes in this container, they are anaerobic. They don't like to breathe oxygen. If you give them oxygen, the bad microbes will start to populate the whole place. So what you want to do is to starve the bad microbes out of, make them breathless, and then you let the good microbes, which are anaerobic, they don't consume oxygen to help. And therefore, so make sure that the container is sealed very airtight all the time. So this is how it goes. And then temperature, okay, so temperature is that if you expose it to over 60 degrees, everything will start to denature. That's why in our food and hygiene course, we say that all the food needs to be kept above 60 degrees. So we say buffet, they're all like 60 degrees and above, because that kills germs. So anything hot above 60 degrees is going to disturb it. And then anything below 0 will also disturb it. So why the enzyme in China went bad is because I left the bucket outside, and the bucket spent the winter outside with snow. And then the spring, when I open up, oh, it smells like fart. So that's how it goes. You have the fart smell. And then the last reason is contamination. So say if your container was not clean, your container has oil residue in it in the beginning. So I also had anecdotes of friends who say, I was using this big barrel, it was used to contain some kind of industrial oil, and I feel that EcoEnzyme is so good, it should be able to digest the oil. So I just started fermenting my stuff with water and sugar with the oil container without washing it, and then the whole thing turned bad. So the container has to be clean. And these 4, what I find actually why EcoEnzyme come bad is actually usually a combination of 2 factors over there, unless the one factor, say for air, right? Actually for air, even if your container has a little bit of gap, it's not extremely sealed, it's okay if you use very sweet material. So then it goes to raw material. Okay, what type of raw material will be prone to turning bad? I think from my experience, it's vegetables. Leafy vegetables like spinach, they will just they become a slur. And then gourds, like bitter gourds, cucumber, eggplants, those are the things that after a while, if the raw material quality is not good, which is farmed, and they have a lot of pesticides on it, it tend to turn bad. The vegetables tend to turn bad. Also watermelon skin, and even the sugar cane pulp that we find in hawker center, the sugar cane, it will also turn bad. It will also become smelly. It doesn't mean that the vegetable themselves are not good. It could be because of, in the Singaporean context, those things have a lot of different stuff on them, on their farm. So that's why it's not of very high quality. But what's going to ensure the highest rate of success is that you use sweet fruits, like things with high sugar content. So if you use sweet fruits, right, and even you have a little bit of contamination in the container, even if your container is not extremely airtight, of course, temperature is a big thing, like it will die 100% for sure. So even if your container is not extremely airtight, and even if you have a little bit of contamination, things will still turn out very well for sweet fruits. But if you use vegetables, anything, even if you seal it, stuff, and after a while, and just a little bit of disturbance, and just a little of air goes in, the whole thing may spoil. So this is my experience with it. So how do we minimize it turning bad? Is we use sweet fruits like orange peels. Orange peel is antimicrobial, so itself is a good thing. And then we make sure that the container is airtight. And I know that please don't put it into the fridge, because this is going to affect. They are the most active in our temperature, in Singapore temperature, about 30 to 37. So this is the best temperature for them to ferment, and therefore please don't put them in the fridge and let them ferment. All right, so what do you do when EcoEnzyme turns bad? As I say that there are two types of bad, right? One is it smells like fart. Okay, so what I discovered is that it either smells like fart, it smells very, very bad. Sometimes papaya will always get that. I don't know why, maybe because the papaya has a lot of pesticides, I don't know. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And then you have a layer of green mold, it's fuzzy and green and black. So these two don't really happen at the same time. It either smells bad or it has mold. So when it smells bad, I would say, although people will say, oh, add in more brown sugar, let it ferment for another 3 months. And I tried that, and I will say that the fart smell will still linger on your hand, even if it ferments again. So if it becomes farty smell, so I would say that I recommend that give it to your gardening friends and let them harvest that farty things, and I think it's extremely good compost to accelerate whatever organic matter in that compost pile. And then for that farty thing, you can just give it to your gardening friends and use it for agriculture. So I think when it turns to smell like fart, there's kind of no way that you can make it smell good again. So this is one thing. But if it has green or black mold growing on it, it means that, okay, there's some kind of the air entered, and then there's this aerobic yeast and aerobic mold started to grow. So in that case, they somehow become this like rubbery thing. So you just take it out, and you can dump it into a compost, it's a great compost, and then add in some brown sugar again, and then let it ferment for 3 months. So for green and black mold, it seems okay, but then if it becomes slimy, so please don't. And if it will not very, very unlikely becoming slimy if you use very sweet fruits. Yep, so this is what it is, and then I will, so this is Q&A time. I'm going to take a break, and then you can go to slido.com, and then I see that. Thank you so much for asking your question there, and then on Slido. So then I will adjust. I'll see how. And you can go to slido.com/333, ask your questions, and then you can also go there and upvote. Whoever's question is your question, you can upvote. All right. So I will start to. Can we use the EcoEnzyme to wash vegetable and fruits? Yes, I got that. So far, there is no it's not scientifically analyzed. A lot of anecdotes you can use it to wash. What I know, I'm just going to say what I know. In literature, is that people will use 2 tablespoons of raw EcoEnzyme dissolved in 1 liter of water, so that's 1 bucket, and then soak your vegetables and fruits for 45 minutes. So in theory, it is going to digest because EcoEnzyme itself is a soil remediation. It's going to digest pesticides. So then EcoEnzyme itself is supposed to be, but then they're just because I went in the research and I want to see. We have this is I said the Q&A is going to get crazy, and then we are 3:40, so I'm going to answer the top, maybe top 5 questions, and then the rest of questions, if I'm not answered, let's go join the Telegram community and ask over there, okay? So this one I did a lot of research on the amount of pesticide that's allowed in Singapore on the fruits and vegetables, and even the PDF is 5 pages. There's so many, the 200 types of pesticides on it. So does it mean that EcoEnzyme can digest every 200 of them? I don't know. I've never done a research before. So I cannot say over here that I am certain it's going to do it. But then in theory, in villages in China, people have done their experiments on the ground, and they say that it does digest certain type of very commonly used type of pesticides. So 2 tablespoons of EcoEnzyme to 1 liter of water, and soak your vegetables for 45 minutes. So that is the recipe. And then, do you put a plastic sheet over a container? Oh yeah, right. Thank you for being so observant. So this is one way of making it very airtight, is just to put a plastic. So once you finish, and you put a plastic sheet over and then turn it. So this is one way of doing it. So this thing was okay. So another thing is that this thing is going to float. People say, okay, so how do you immerse it in water? So what I do is that you shake it every day. So this is prepared on 21st of December, and now it's close to a month, and you can see that things will slowly start to sink. All right, can sieve out fermented fruits be thrown into compost? Yes, it can. Actually, we can also dry them. You can squeeze them and dry them. It becomes a dried compost accelerator without the water. And then what happens, what happens if EcoEnzyme goes bad? How do we store the fruit enzyme? We can store them in as long as in airtight container, it is going to be good. Again, it depends on the type of raw material. In Singapore, we don't get very high quality raw materials, unfortunately, because we import a lot of fruits and they are farm vegetables. But if we get, say, wild vegetables we find outside, say, of noni or whatever fruiting trees around, and you make them into enzyme, those things can be kept for years. Okay, so how do you preserve it? So after 3 months, please harvest the enzyme and don't let these fruit peels, like whatever that is still soak in it. So this is going to affect the quality of the enzyme. So after 3 months, harvest it and transfer the solution into an airtight container and seal it in the ventilated and place away from direct sunlight. And the container I recommend is actually Meiji bottles, because Meiji bottles is made from HDPE2 plastic that is very stable. You can see that this type of plastic is always opaque. It is not transparent, and usually it's white. And this type of plastic is very stable. It's not going to get corroded with acid. And so that's why, or PP, like the one that's microwave safe. So you can store them in those kind of containers. You can store them in glass container only after a long time, when you make sure that everything is fully fermented, no more gas, then you can store them in glass container. But before that, a glass container, using this type of container, like the glass one with this thing, like this, to ferment, is extremely dangerous. And please know it's extremely dangerous. All right. How do we store pineapples? Can you use the skin? Yes, we can use both the skin and the rough portion. How do I scroll this? Okay, I need to check the screen. Do we need to place the container in a dark place? Yes. May I know if the enzyme can be used as dish cleaners and floor cleaners? Yes. We can use it, and I have a material that talks about how we can, the different ratios we can use it as a dish. It's multi-purpose. As I said, how it cleans, it has organic acid. Organic acid is very good for bathrooms. The acid will digest the water stain. So this is for bathroom and for floor. And then for grease, for all those like starchy things, it's protease, amylase, and lipase. So it can clean food. Oh, okay. Thank you. How do we know, can EcoEnzyme be used as fertilizers? Okay, this is a misconception I want to clear. EcoEnzyme is not a fertilizer. This type of EcoEnzyme made from garbage fruits is not a fertilizer. It's not a specialized fertilizer, but it is a soil conditioner. So if we make it with different type, like all kinds of garbage fruits, and then we spray it onto the soil with organic matter, you have compost inside, and then you spray EcoEnzyme, it's going to speed up the amount, how the compost gets digested. And so that's how it is. But itself, unless you make very specialized enzyme, which is like the fish enzyme or Kara enzyme, which then I'll recommend you to take the master class that I'm going to have, because this is I feel that this is a very specialized domain knowledge. It's very different from the number of days you're going to ferment the fish and Okara will be different, and also the raw materials will be different. So I think it's impossible to cover it in this short introduction. But EcoEnzyme itself is not a fertilizer, but it can be specialized enzyme, called 酵素. Is a different type of fertilizer. So I can say that I want to teach it because I am in touch with the jiaosu farmers in China, and they have a book, and I'm translating the book because I want to propagate the knowledge. And therefore, I have knowledge and some domain knowledge on how to make enzyme for gardening. All right, so do we need to place the container in a dark place? Yes. What with the process of making EcoEnzyme produce air, maybe explodes? Yes. So in the first 2 or 3 days, 3 weeks, you're going to have this. That's why we say plastic containers, right? It's going to expand. So every day, especially pineapple, you need to release, just release the cover a little bit, psst, and then come back. Yeah, and then let the air come out. So this is going to happen for the first 2 to 3 weeks. And after that, it's going to be more stable. And please do not open the container. Please do not do this. Please do not open it and stir and come back. You're going to introduce air in it, and it's not going to go well for the anaerobic. It's not a big deal, but it's just you're creating an unfavorable environment for the anaerobic microbes. How should the enzyme smell like? It's going to smell like vinegar, like citrusy. How do we prepare the pills? Like, do I use baking soda to soak it? You can, I think you can, for me, I never use baking soda. Actually, I never clean the pills because it just cleans by itself after ferment. But you can clean it, you're gonna have a higher quality of enzymes. I never use baking soda to soak it, but I think you can. There's another way that using ultrasound to clean it, so there's another way. Do we have to strain all the enzymes in another container once ready to use? Yes. How do you use EcoEnzyme to wash dishes? Do you dilute it with water? Oh, I guess so what happens is that, yeah, I'm gonna put it in this. Oh, and how do we make dishwasher? So after the enzyme is fermented, right, we mix half enzyme with half commercial detergent. Half enzyme and half commercial detergent. And you're gonna have a watery solution. You can use a biodegradable commercial detergent, and then you're gonna have a watery solution, and then you can spray it. If you put it on the fruit peels day by day, you do in a hack, when does the 90 days start? Oh yes, the 90 days start on the day when you seal it. So you're doing it day by day, it doesn't count. It only counts when it's 80% full. On the last day, you put in fruits. Do we wait until the sugar dissolves before adding fruit peels? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you can. Or you can just leave it there. It will dissolve by itself in 90 days. All right, so then let's go to the, can we use enzyme to wash fruits? Okay, all right, thank you. So I think that's our Q&A session. Let's go back to our slides. If you still have questions that's not answered, and then I encourage you to ask in the tab, because I know from my experience, if you're doing it for the first time, you'll be like not sure, like, okay, am I doing it correctly? Like, is it okay? So I think you want to check with somebody who knows. So this is my experience. So then if you want to check with me, you can join the Telegram group and ask, is this okay? And blah, blah, blah. All right, so the next one, yeah, Q&A session. All right, so then let's go to quiz time. What is the magic ratio of brown sugar, fruit peels, and water? All right, the answer is B, is 1:3:10. Yeah, so that is the answer, 1:3:10. And what is the EcoEnzyme hack? Fill the container 60% full or fill the container 80% full? Okay, the answer is A. Fill the container 60% full with water, add sugar, 1/10 the weight of water, and then add fruits. And what can you ferment EcoEnzyme with? So this is something I want to talk about. Cooked pandan leaves and cooked fruit pulp. Can you do that? Or durian husk. Obviously, you get bones, so lychee skin. All right, so it's quite obvious. You can ferment it with banana peels, apple skin, orange peels, mango skin, whatever. So pandan leaves. So these are the ones that is good for ferment. So then one thing is that do we need to sterilize the stuff? Please don't. Please don't cook them, because if you cook them, the ambient microbes will have died, and then the enzymes present in the fruit peels will also die. So please don't cook the stuff. And then we also cannot, from experience, we can throw kind of durian husk and lychee skin, those kind of stuff, because it's just waste. So you can just dump it in and then let it ferment. But from experience, I realized that they do not get digested at all by the microbes. So by the end of 90 days, there's still going to be a durian husk and the lychee skin. So it doesn't go smushy, it doesn't get dissolved. So I realized that, okay, you can put it in it and it gets soaked up with microbes, and you can dump it in compost. Maybe it's very good compost, but it's for to no end with EcoEnzyme, because it's not going to contribute to the quality of EcoEnzyme. All right. So then don't worry about it. All these materials, they are in the Telegram. So you can scan the QR code. It's going to be in the Telegram chat. Everything is available, and you can download it from the kit. And then goes the free sample. Thank you so much for everybody who completed the pre-workshop survey. We're also going to have a post-workshop survey that we're going to send via email. And when you complete the survey, as a token of appreciation. I mean, you can also, I know there are people who complete the survey without the intention, say, oh, I want this free stuff. But as a token of appreciation, we'd like to provide you with the EcoEnzyme detergent that we make. You can try it at home. So you can put it into a spritzer like this, and then spray onto your oily plates, and then wait for a while and let it digest. And then you're going to see, you're going to feel how it feels like. All right, and then the collection of how do you collect it is we're going to have several places of collection. Right now, it's not set on stone yet. We're probably going to have one in Wubi and one in the West. And then so we're going to provide a more detailed instruction later, but I have to trouble you for self-collection. Yeah, because I'm poor and there's no budget for courier. But we try to have different places around Singapore where you can self-collect. All right. All right, so then you have more questions, you can join our Telegram community. It's called EcoEnzyme, at EcoEnz. And then you can also, if you have any questions, you can ask me over there. This is the last slide. Yeah, I think then I guess this is the last slide. So, so what I want to say is that thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Anna. I'm from EcoEnzyme, this educational initiative, and then we create EcoEnzyme experiences for people. And the goal is that we want to create healthy and natural homes for everybody, so it's good for our skin, it's good for our hands, I forgot what I want to say, but I remember that we're supposed to take a group picture. So may I invite everybody who's comfortable to switch on your camera, and click this thumbs up emoji. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming up. Yeah, you can do some smile and do something. So then we're going to take a group picture together. All right. So, okay, I'll do something like this. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.